Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, Friday, March 7th, 2025. We'll start with the Diddy docket, simply because it's starting to heat up. It's now in the run-up to trial. Yesterday, first of all, it was ruled that he will get, at least his lawyers will get, information about the enterprise RICO charge on an expedited basis on March 10th instead of March 21st. But then, later in the day, the superseding indictment was docketed. It includes more information about the labor, forced labor and charges. So things are. It looks like that trial is going to be a go. It's going to be a go. In the Blake Lively front, we're going to get to some more serious things in a moment. But we did cover the protective order conference yesterday, and it was actually many people. It was one of the more interesting ones of the day. It's being like super vindictively litigated, and basically the Lively side wants an extensive protective order and doesn't want text messages, etc., to come out. The judge, to his credit, Judge Lyman, said, look, he still has yet to rule on the protective order, but he said when it goes to trial, everything's going to come out, and that's just how it is, because the courts are open. People have a right to know. He said it. People have a right to know how the courts are being used, and that's exactly what's happening in that case. Now, today is the crypto summit in the White House. We're going to be trying to cover that some. Yesterday we asked the International Monetary Fund in their now monthly press briefing to compare their approach to El Salvador, where they've basically purported to order the country not to buy Bitcoin on a governmental basis for a reserve, with the U.S. proposal to do pretty much just that. They said it hasn't been finalized yet in the U.S., and they're keeping a close eye on it. So we'll keep a close eye on that. You can find it. We actually put the video of the Q&A up, so there's no misunderstanding about what was said. Now, I said we'd get to something somewhat serious. There's the news this morning is that a UN helicopter has been shot down in South Sudan. We've been writing about South Sudan, actually, even as banned and unable or not permitted to enter the United Nations to ask these questions. We've been writing a series of scoops about corruption and lassitude in the UN mission in South Sudan, and Nicholas Haysom runs it. I actually, before being put out of the UN by Antonio Guterres, got to know Mr. Haysom. He was part of the UN's team on Sri Lanka. Total failure, but he's very passionate about that things are hard. But I'll tell you what's hard. That mission is so badly run that although people will rally around the flag now and say, it's a possible war crime, that's what they say, take a look at Inner City Press' series of stories on South Sudan and how it's being run, both from the SRSG, DRSG, bad relationships with the government, including like keeping land that the government says the UN has no right to, and as well as keeping a radio station they were supposed to have turned over. And then you'll see the backdrop to the story about the helicopter. We're covering the Iran trial that's coming up. It actually is going to start next week. And what we can do as an update is to say that the statement of Mr. Omarov, as he was being extradited on a jet from the Czech Republic, the statement will come in. He tried to say that he wasn't properly Mirandized because it was in writing and in Russian, but Judge McMahon has ruled that in writing works. Second Circuit says it. So the Iran trial is on while the UN, among its many, Antonio Guterres conceals his connections to the China Energy Fund Committee, but also Iran. Every time he meets with them, you can't find the photo and you can't find the video because they try to downplay it. But this is the type of duplicity that one would hope will bring an end to the Antonio Guterres regime of censorship now in 2025. It's a litmus test. Let's see. If this is the last one of the week, have a good weekend. Inner City Press.